Amelia! It is she. She.
Pretty Polly!
What was that? Is there a parrot in the room? I don't see it.
Are you there, Jacob?
The house is haunted.
Jacob!
I'm scared. So these are the kind of secrets they guard in this house. There he is. He.
Is it?
God in heaven. Who is it?
Is it Jacob?
Yes. My name is Jake.
And my name is Amelia.
No. No, no. Oh my God.
Yes. This is how I look. And this is how I did look. Life has a way of opening one's eyes, doesn't it? I live mostly in the cupboard to avoid seeing and being seen. But Jacob, what do you want here?
My child. Our child.
There she is.
Where?
There in the hyacinth room.
Yes. It is she. What about your father, the colonel? I mean, your husband.
Once, when I was angry with him, I told him everything.
Well?
He didn't believe me. He just said, "That's what all wives say when they want to murder their husbands." It was a terrible crime nonetheless. It has falsified his whole life, his family tree too. Sometimes I look in the peerage and I say to myself, there she is, going about with a false birth certificate like some sort of servant girl. For such things, people are sent to the reformatory.
Many do it. I seem to remember that your own date of birth was given incorrectly.
My mother made me do that. I was not to blame. And in our crime, you played the biggest part.
No! Your husband did that crime when he took my fiancée from me! I was born one who cannot forgive until he has punished. To me, that was an imperative duty. And is so still.
What do you expect to find in this house? What do you want? How did you get inside? Does this have to do with my daughter? If you touch her, you shall die.
I mean well by her.
Then you must bear her father.
No!
Then you shall die in this room behind that screen.
That may be. But I can't let go once I have my teeth to think.
You want to marry her to that student, don't you? Why? He is nothing and has nothing.
He will be rich through me!
Were you invited here this evening?
No. But I pretend to get myself an invitation to this ghost supper.
Do you know who's coming tonight?
Not exactly.
The Baron, the man who lives up above, whose father-in-law was buried this afternoon.
The man who's getting a divorce in order to marry the caretaker's wife. The man who used to be your lover.
Another guest will be your former fiancé.
A select gathering.
Oh, God. If only we might die!
Then why have you stayed together?
Crime and secrets and guilt bind us together. We have gone our own ways, times without number, but in the end, we are always drawn back together again.
I think the colonel is coming.
Then I will go into Adele. Jacob, mind what you do. Spare him.
You wrote this letter, sir?
I did.
And your name is Harmony.
It is.
As I understand, you have brought in all my unpaid promissory notes. I can only conclude I'm in your hands. What do you want?
I want payment. In one way or another.
In what way?
A very simple one. Let us not mention the money. Just bear with me in your house as a guest.
If so little will satisfy
Thank you.
then what else?
Dismiss Benson.
Why should I do that? My noble servant who has been with me a lifetime, who has a national medal for long and faithful service. Why should I do that?
That's how you see. Full of excellent qualities. He's not the man he appears to be.
Really? Who is?
True. But Benson must go.
Are you going to run my house?
Yes! Since everything here belongs to me. Furniture, curtains, dinner service, linen, and more, too.
How do you mean, more?
Everything. I own everything. It is mine.
Very well. It is yours. But my family is Scotchan, and my good name remain my own.
No, not even those. You're not a nobleman.
How dare you!
If you read this extract from the Armorial Gazette, you will see that the family whose name you're using have been extant for 100 years.
I've heard rumors to this effect, but I inherited this name from my father. Very well, it is true. I am not a nobleman, so I must take off my signet ring. Very well. It is yours. Here we go.
Now, we will continue. You're not a colonel either.
I am not a
No. You once held the temporary rank of colonel in the American Volunteer Force. But after the war in Cuba and the reorganization of the army, all such titles were abolished.
Is that true?
You want
No, 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 no. That won't be necessary. So, who are you, and what right do you have to sit there and strip me in this fashion?
You will see. But as far as stripping you goes, do you know who you are?
How dare you!
Take off that wig and take a look at yourself in the mirror! But take your teeth out at the same time. And shave off that mustache. Let Benson unlace your mental state, and perhaps a certain XYZ, a lackey, will recognize himself. The man who used to be a cupboard lover in a certain kitchen. Don't touch that bell and don't call Benson! If you do, I'll have him arrested.
I saw the sun beneath me, that I beheld the heaven. Then must we have song, blessed is he whose deeds are good, deeds which you
And now, the guests are beginning to arrive. Keep your composure and let's play our own parts for a while.
with loving kindness, this will heal, no fear has he, does no
Who are you?
sweet.
I recognize your voice. And I recognize your eyes.
Try to find out. Keep silent and obey.
How do you do, sir?
Welcome to my house, young man. Your splendid behavior at that great disaster has brought your name to everybody's lips. I count it an honor to receive you in my home.
My humble descent, sir. Your illustrious name and noble birth.
May I introduce Mr. Arkenholtz, Mr. Hummel? If you would care to join the ladies in here, Mr. Arkenholtz, I have to conclude my conversation with Mr. Hummel. Splendid young man. musical, sings, writes poetry. If only he had blue blood in him, if only you were of the same standard, I do not think I should object
To
to
what?
To my daughter.
Your daughter? But apropos of that, why does she spend all her time in there?
She insists on being in the hyacinth room except when she's out of doors. It's a peculiarity of hers. Ah, here comes Miss Beatrice von Holstein-Krona. A charming woman, a pillar of the church, with just enough money of her own to suit her birth and position.
My fiancée.
Miss Holstein-Krona? Mr. Hummel? Baron Skanskorg.
That's the jewel thief, I think. If you bring in the money, the party will be complete.
Are the young ones to come in as well?
Not the young ones. They shall be spared.
Then, shall we have the tea brought in?
What's the use? No one wants tea. Why shall we pretend about it?
Then, shall we talk?
Talk of the weather, which we know. Inquire about each other's health, which we know just as well. I prefer silence. Then one can hear thoughts and see the past. Silence cannot hide anything, but words can. I read the other day that differences of languages originated among savages for the purpose of keeping one tribe's secrets hidden from another. Every language, therefore, is a code. And he who has the key can understand every language in the world. But this does not prevent secrets from being exposed without the key, especially when there's a question of paternity to be proved. Proof in a court of law is another matter. Two false witnesses try to suffice anything about which they are agreed. But one does not take witnesses along of the kind of explorations I have in mind. Nature herself has instilled in human beings a sense of modesty, which tries to hide what should be hidden. But sometimes we slip into situations unintentionally, and by chance, the deepest secrets is divulged. The mask torn off the impostor. The villain exposed. What a silence there is now! in this honorable house, in this elegant home, where beauty, wealth, and culture are united. All of us now sitting here know who we are, do we not? There is no need for me to tell you. And you know me, although you pretend ignorance. And there lies my daughter, mine! You know that too! She had lost the desire to live, without knowing why. The fact is she was withering in this air charged with crime and deceit and falseness of every kind. That's why I looked for a friend for her, in whose company she might enjoy the light and warmth of noble deeds. That was my mission in this house. To put up the weeds, to expose crimes, to settle all accounts, so that those young people might start afresh in this house, which is my gift to them. And now, I'm going to grant safe conduct to each of you in his and her proper time and turn. Whoever stays, I shall have arrested. Do you hear the clock ticking like a Death Watch beetle in the wall? Do you hear what it says? It is time. It is time. It is time. When it strikes in a few moments, your time will be up. Then you can go, but not before. It's raising its arm against you before it strikes. Listen. It's warning you. The clock can't strike. And I can't move. Do you hear?
But I can stop time in its course. I can wipe out the past and undo what is done. Not through suffering, threats, or bribes, only through repentance and suffering. We are miserable human beings. That we know. We have erred, and we have sinned. We, like all the rest. But we are not what we seem. At bottom, we are better than ourselves, since we detest our sins. But when you, Jacob Hummel, with your false name, choose to stand in judgment over us, you prove yourself worse than us miserable sinners. You are not what you appear to be. You are a thief of human souls. You stole me once with false promises. You murdered the consul who was buried today. You strangled him with death. And you have stolen the student, binding him on the pretext of a claim on his father, who never owed you a farthing. But there is one dark spot in your life, which I am not quite sure about. I have my suspicions. I think Bengtson knows.
No! Not Benson! Not him!
So he does know. Bengtson, do you know this man?
Yes, I know him and he knows me. Life, as you are aware, has its ups and downs. I used to be in his service. Another time, he was in mine. For 2 whole years, he was a sponger in my kitchen. As he had to be away by 3, the dinner was gotten ready at 2, and the family had to eat the warmed-up leavings of that brute. He drank the soup stock, which the cook then filled up with water. He sat out there like a vampire, sucking the marrow out of the house until we became like skeletons. And he nearly got us put in prison when we called the cook a thief. Later, I met this man in Hamburg, under another name. He was a usurer then, a bloodsucker. But while he was there, he was charged with having lured a young girl out onto the ice so as to drown her. Because she had seen him commit a crime, he was afraid would be discovered.
This is you. Now, give back the papers and the will. Parrot, are you there, Jacob?
Jacob's here!
May the clock strike.
The clock may strike! Cuckoo! Cuckoo! Cuckoo!
Now, enter the cupboard where I have spent the past 20 years repenting our crime. You will find a rope there, which you can take as the one with which you strangled the consul, and with which you meant to strangle your benefactor.
Go!
Bengtson, put up the screen, the death screen. It is finished. Lord, have mercy on his soul.
me it seemed that I beheld the hidden. Men must reap what they have sown. Blessed is he whose deeds are good. Deeds which have rotted fury cannot in evil find redress. Comfort him you have distressed. With loving kindness, this will heal. No fear has he who does no ill. Sweet is innocence.